What romantic gesture completely backfired? I had been crushing on this girl at my gym for months when one day, I overheard her chatting with her friends about baking. I listened in more closely and caught her saying that she wanted a guy who could bake. At that moment, I knew exactly what I had to do. To impress her, I made it my mission to bake her cookies. I spent weeks perfecting my recipe, tweaking every detail until I felt they were just right. When I was finally satisfied, I brought them to the gym, carefully timing it so I knew she'd be there. Taking a deep breath, I walked over to her, and to my relief, we actually hit it off. During our conversation, I casually mentioned that I'd been baking and had some cookies with me if she wanted to try them. Her eyes lit up, and she excitedly said she'd love to. I quickly grabbed them, and as soon as she took a bite, everything changed. Her expression shifted, and after chewing for a moment, she suddenly gasped and asked if they had peanuts in them. I nodded, and immediately, she started panicking. Her face began swelling, and she was struggling to breathe. I froze for a second before yelling for help at the top of my lungs. Gym staff rushed over, and thankfully, she had an EpiPen in her bag. An ambulance arrived and took her to the hospital. She survived, but after that day, she couldn't even look at me. She told me that every time she saw me, she could feel her throat tightening all over again. In the end, she switched gyms entirely.